Jomix 10 subscribed at tier 1. They've subscribed for 2 months. And Zazola.
End of line.
Marvel subscribed at tier 1. They've subscribed for 35 months, currently on a 30-month streak. And says hello from Denmark.
End of line.
Diagnostics subscribed at tier 1. They've subscribed for 30 months. And says all repair and no games make shall be a rich streamer.
End of line.
18 raiders from Belgium have joined.
End of line.
Apparently you could just not comment Rain Vital Kneve. It seems like it might do that just a little bit. I should actually watch back one of the VODs just see what it's doing, because I'm guessing that I have the thing muted in that it switches to Rain and then it unmutes in the background and then reactivates. So I probably just need to mute the Rain until after the scene switch. Anyway, hello. We're obviously not at the office again. We are going to do a technical thing, though. I put this to a vote on Discord, and rather than play A Link to the Past, everyone wanted me to tear this thing down. Now, here's the thing. My only goal is to remove an EEPROM and read it. That's it. So we're just doing that. That's it. That's the only goal. I do have the EEPROM reader. There it is. I put it on the shelf by the thing. The most exciting adventure here will probably be trying to install the Mini Pro software from GitLab. So, did your raid work? It did. I'm just introducing the stream still. So, after dumping Link to the Past, no. Because this thing is very critical for how the whole video setup works. And since it's here, it's not working. And since the back of it looks like this, I'm not going to try and wire this thing in on stream. So when we're done, we're done. Because I don't have anything else to do here right now. And this thing is ridiculous. So yeah, I'm not going to try and wire this thing up on stream. Because yeah, no, it sucks. It's awful. So, yeah. Was fishing for acknowledgement, just thought I'd gone boom. Okay. Okay. So, first off here, John Mann, X10, thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 2 months. I appreciate that. K Marshall, thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 35 months. I appreciate that. Digital Ice Age, thank you.
Batman. Tier 100.
End of line.
Digital Ice Age, thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 30 months. David, thank you for the 100 bits. Man. All right. Yeah. Oh yeah. The other reason, that I'm here is because I did order capacitors for the Deck Rider 3, but they're going to be delivered like any minute now. Like now. So I couldn't have gone to the office to work on that because they're not here yet. So I wanted to do that. Thought I had everything prepared in advance to be able to do that, but just slightly later delivery time than would have worked. So tomorrow we'll probably be at the office doing that. And by probably, I mean it really should be that way. So yeah. Now go back to then. Yeah. So all right. Let me get this thing hooked up so I can demonstrate to you what exactly is going on, and why I think I should dump the EEPROM. So, this is a USB serial adapter. It just plugs directly into here. This is, oh gosh, what is it? Data, DCE, Data Communication,
FM00RT subscribed at Tier 1. They've subscribed for 35 months.
End of line.
Snoward, thank you for the Tier 1 sub and for 35 months. I appreciate that. Fun fact, I've ordered these as like normal USB serial adapters, and they came with the female couplers on there. So I had to rip them out, but it turns out that this shroud isn't actually held on with anything, so the metal is like kind of crimped over here. That's the only reason that the D shell is still on there. So that's cool. Thank you, Sabrent, for designing it that way. So I'm just gonna plug in power. Where's power? There it is. Plug goes the other direction. So it's gonna turn on. It does that pretty quick. Down here, we can see that there are 2 buttons lit up over here. Okay. So when you turn this on, you're supposed to be able to, let me just push this slightly farther out. You're supposed to be able to do a button here and then press another button and then hit enter to be able to make a tie between an input and an output. Well, you'll notice whenever I push these just flash over here. It doesn't actually do anything. So that's fun. I can make it do something though. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to unplug power. I'm going to hold these 2 buttons, and then I'm going to plug power back in. I think that will have worked. Yes, there we go. I'm going to hit escape, and now it will behave as normal. We can set and view ties. Everything is working correctly. So what's the deal here? Well, I booted it up in factory reset mode there, which in theory would mean that, it'll work now, but it doesn't really. I mean, actually, I can do every single thing I want here. I can make and set ties. That all works perfectly fine. But if I unplug it and plug it back in, it will revert back to, no, we won't do this mode. So, yeah. And I'm pretty sure that changing the factory reset should fix this. But again, it doesn't. Battery. It's EEPROM. At least I think. We're going to open it up and find out. That's the whole point of today. So, that's what we have going on and why we're going to crack this thing open and take a look at it. But there is another element to this that I need to demonstrate. They call it executive mode because we can't trust the executives in the ops room. Yeah. So what Ben is talking about there is a feature that this thing has. So let me just really quick set up a desktop capture here. Make sure this is working correctly. Well, I'm glad that just worked. For giggles, if I do this. Okay, the automatic motion is off. Perfect. All right, so this is the manual for this thing, okay? This is a Crosspoint 300. If I flip this, you know what? I'm not going to bother flipping this around. It's a 300. It's got 12 inputs, 8 outputs. That's what this is. So it's got here, what is this switching? Currently nothing, but later the video game console stuff behind me. Okay. So this is the manual for this thing, but what we want to go to is the serial port nonsense somewhere in the back. Where is it? You know what? Just serial ports. Boom. Okay. Come on. Give me the instructions. Here we go. Okay, so this is the serial port command set. Okay. So we switched to nothing and nothing. nothing. We're out of ideas. Yeah. Dumping a ROM. No, yeah, dumping a ROM can never be a bad step. Yeah. A hype train emote. I actually like. Okay. Just catching up on chat here. Okay. Doesn't have anything else to do with music. No. Okay. So yeah. All right. These are the commands for this. And it's kind of weird. I'm actually going to bring up something on the other monitor that I had determined with this that I cannot currently recall. Alrighty. Okay. Okay, my notes on this were worse than I thought they were. All right. So I have the serial port connected. So if you do ls dev tty USB. Wait, no, is it ACM? Oh, you know what would help is if I plugged it in. Let me plug that in because that will make it work. Have a USB port in the back here. Sorry, I'm whacking my head with the microphone. Turn that on. Okay, now USB 0. Perfect. Okay. Do I need a firmware file for it? No, we're gonna pull that off here. Okay, so we have TTY USB 0, which means we can do minicom-d, and then dev TTY USB 0, and then get rid of the dev TTY USB, or the dev part, because minicom's stupid. Or is it not? Is it not minicom that does? I don't even know anymore. Dev. Maybe minicom's the one that wants that. I guess it is. Okay. Control A-O. We're going to set up the serial port for 9600 8N1. I guess it already is. So, all right. We can do a couple of things here. We can just type X, and then that, in theory, tells us the executive mode that we're in, except not quite. It's a little confusing. If I type lowercase x, then we get exe0. If I type uppercase X, did the webcam really reset? Stupid webcam. Hold on a moment. Wonder why that happened. Oh, I bet plugging in the serial port changed that. Okay. There we go. And that means it's going to have broken all of my settings. One moment. So frustrating. I am tempted to buy, and I'm really tempted to buy, a couple of like 2010s camcorders, and then get just garbage MJPEG HDMI capture cards to use instead of webcams, because webcams are terrible. Just going through all the settings, reconfiguring it. Oh wow, I'm not glowing now. Crazy. There we go. Oh, well, I am. Okay. Why is using minicom because the deck writer isn't working yet? Anyway, okay. So we currently have minicom connected to this thing, okay? So I can, in theory, read or write data to it. You plug it in the same USB line or reset your cam. Yeah. Okay. Use Sony Alpha camera? Yeah, that sounds expensive. I just want... yeah, no. If I was going that route, I would just buy some more Black Magics. Which model do I want? I don't have a particular model in mind. Just needs clean feed HDMI out. Okay. Now we can look at the commands here, and we can see some stuff. So, as I mentioned before, all right, if I go over here and I try and make any ties, it blinks. Okay? That doesn't work. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it a command to reset. So, we're going to go through here. These are to do with presets. We don't want that. Somewhere around here is the reset stuff. Interestingly, there is something to do with the video mutes, or actually the audio mutes, which is really weird. So, where was the total system reset? Global mute, no. Decrement, global mute, remute. Oh, just had to scroll down farther. Here we go. Okay, so ZXX, this is a factory reset. So this is functionally equivalent to what I was doing earlier by holding the buttons down when I reboot it. Okay, so does it focus setting after turning it off? Yeah. There's a lot of problems like that using different kinds of cameras. That's why I want something that has a physical lens that can just be left in a particular orientation. So, all right. So I'm going to send this command. This is it does not wait. It looks like it requires a carriage return. It does not. That's the response. And this is just I don't exactly understand what they're trying to show here, but I'm gonna have to do control left brace, left square bracket, and then ZXXX, and then it will do a full factory reset. So I'm gonna type that in here, but I'm gonna let you see the unit itself. So it's gonna flash all the lights as I type this in. So escape Z123. There we go. I guess it doesn't flash all of the lights, but over on the console, we can see it said zap X's there. All right, try ZQQQ. I can try that in a moment. Let me demonstrate this first, though. Then I'll power cycle it, and we'll see. So if I do that, now I can change my ties. It works perfectly fine. We can view, boom, all the things. It's kind of annoying that works so well. Anticlimactic. Oh, we're not done yet, because that changed it only for this boot. So if I unplug power and then plug power right back in, we're going to be back to the same situation that we were. Plug it in, powers up, and boom, blinks. Does not allow me to do anything. Now, I'm curious where you get the ZQs instead of ZXs here, because I don't think I have seen ZQ as an option. GoPros weren't temperamental. I'd recommend one. There's one right here. They are extremely temperamental. I will never get more of those. They're really not good. So there is the boot up line from the Extron. I'll try the ZQQ. I'm curious. Z 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so escape Z 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that does not seem to work. It's reporting these errors. Last couple devices views, I have used Qs. Okay, so that might be the newer ones then that do that, because yeah, escape Z Q Q Q. That's what I get out of that. At least it's predictable and repeatable. Hasn't called you a liar. Failed to fail. Yeah, I know. That is kind of nice, actually. Buy UPS, never get unplugged from power. Problem solved. Yeah. But yeah, this is it. Every single time I power cycle it, it's back to this. So here's the thing, okay? Let's read the manual some, because I think I have an idea of what's going on. Why am I getting a Discord notice? Okay. So, presets. Save, recall, directly write presets. Presets are used to pre-configure input ties on this thing. So you could send it a command for a preset, or just use the front panel buttons here. So say I wanted to use preset 1, I'd do that. Preset 1 might be set up so that you press this. Actually, these are how you select presets. But anyway, it might be set up so that 1 goes out to 1, 2, and say 8. Or you could do preset 2, and then it would automatically output 2 to 1, 2, and 8. Something like that, where you don't have to press this and all of the individual switches that you want. So presets are really helpful. One of the ways that this works is that preset 0 specifically is the one that it is always writing to, I guess it doesn't actually say this here, but preset 0 is the currently active state. So when you power this off and repower it, it will reload preset 0 and then continue. What that means is every single time you make a change, you tie one thing to another or something like that, you write to the EEPROM where it saves the presets every single time you make a change. And I calculated this. If you made 50 changes a day, you would burn through 1 million write cycles on an EEPROM in 54 years, which means that if this is from, say, the 90s, because I don't actually know what year this is. Let's see if the manual says copyright date. 1990, 2000, one. I don't know what year it is. Firmware said 2002. That's like a good point. So 23 years, half the cycle. So if it was changed 100 times a day, while it was in use, it could have burned through 1 million EEPROM write cycles. And it would have been doing that to the same exact part of the flash over and over again for preset 0. So there's a chance that the flash is dead. Does it print anything to the terminal once you boot it? And it has the blink? Nope. No, it never prints anything. So I'm pressing the buttons. It's doing the blink. It's not outputting anything here. The only thing it prints to the terminal and boot up is that Extron copyright notice. Here, I'll unplug it and replug it so you can see that. Replace EEPROM with an FRAM. Yeah, I am thinking replacing the EEPROM is the play. But no one has done that before, so I got to figure it out. So there you go. That's all you get. 2002 firmware version 2.03. That's also the factory backup version of firmware. And apparently this has a fallback firmware thing. So, and that's what booting it with the factory reset's supposed to do. So, sounds like preset 0 is too corrupt to complete boot. That's what I'm thinking. So, EEPROMs don't have any sort of wear leveling functionality, is what you're saying? No, EEPROMs are super dumb. So is Flash. Just pure Flash. That's why you have a Flash controller on something like an SSD. Okay. Let's see. Just catching up here. All right. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. I think it's possible that the EEPROM could be toast, that this thing writes its settings to. But I don't know. Because I don't know. The only other thing I can go off of is I found at least 2 other people who have the exact same issues that I'm having here, where factory resetting does nothing, trying to control it over serial works fine, but then once you reboot it, it's back to being weird. So, wear leveling is important. Effective general. I mean, yes, but this was probably used for longer than it should have been, is my guess. Here's the other thing. One of the functions that this has is it allows you to change the audio gain, and you can change the audio input level as well. So say you're inputting audio into input 1 here, because this is the audio version of this, you can change the gain level. Now, I know there is software out there for these to control them, and I don't know what the user interfaces look like, but if there's a single fader in the software that doesn't just, or that provides real-time feedback, if that was used, that could totally explain the write degradation, because it would write the audio changes every single time the fader was moved, and that would be a problem. So there's a lot of reasons why I could see this being toast. So yeah, basically that's why we are going to do what we are about to do. But everything else works just fine. Video gets passed through, looks good. Audio makes it through, looks good. As long as I factory reset it before I start using it, everything works out. So I think software is just doing serial queries. I mean, you can set the volume level. But there's not, I don't know how all of the GUIs out there that do that work. Give me one moment here. Got a handy dandy mute button here, unlike microphones at the office. So bad design, only save at power off. Well, power off, I mean, I guess it could have one of those like power off detect things. That would be smarter, actually. Power off or preset change would be two better ways to do it. So this is why EEPROM exists, yeah. So, all right. Here's what we're going to do. Oh, I've been recording for 14 minutes. Cool. Well, I'll delete that file later. Screenshot of the software. I am curious if it shows faders. That's just for routing or ties. There's also different software packages available, I believe. So, anyway, we're going to tear this thing apart now. Because I need to dump the EEPROM and then figure out what the part is and order a replacement. Hopefully I can write a new one, swap it in, and then it all works perfectly fine. Format of the software and firmware, a few of their devices was allowed to have actual account for weeks. Ah, cool. My arm just fell out of the thing there. Okay. Okay, hold on. This wants to be a pain in the butt. Just do that real quick. All right, there we go. All right. Unplug power. Unplug data. Look at that giant blue LED there. That's just, it's blowing out the camera. It's so blue. Good grief. Okay. I don't remember how this comes apart. So when I bought this thing at Goodwill, some of the BNC jacks were not like correctly installed, and there was a loose baggie of the nuts that hold these on just in there. I think one of the boards was loose. So it was probably donated for a reason, but it still works perfectly fine. How many BNC jacks? If I remember correctly, the math works out to exactly 100 because it's 12 inputs, 8 outputs, 20. No, it's 120 BNC jacks. 12 inputs, 8 outputs. So each one of these rows is 20. There are 5 rows for RGB HV. So yeah. Oh, this is that one. Yes, it is. But again, everything works perfectly fine. It just doesn't save the settings or work on startup. All right, I'm just going to set all the screws to the side. We'll pop off these ones here, see what that gets us. And yeah, there's the Goodwill sticker, by the way. If it wasn't obvious enough that, yes, this is the Goodwill one. Works perfectly fine, just doesn't work perfectly fine. Yeah. I have an Extron account, just asked, it gave me one, no problem. I don't really want software from them. If I'm making or using any UIs, it's going to be something totally custom. So the serial commands are super simple.
Subscribed at Tier 1. They've subscribed for 36 months, currently on an 8-month streak.
End of line.
Hellencroft, thank you for the Tier 1 sub there and for 36 months. I appreciate that. Everything works perfectly fine. It just doesn't. Be great writing sales ads for the Phoenix area. Yeah. Mainly wanted updated AV firmware, started asking awkward questions about AV professional accreditation and affiliation, so he gave up. We have deck talk in the home streams? Yes, we do. But it ran when parked? Actually, it was in pieces when parked. It had the bumper thrown on the back seat, the radiator was leaking, but there was a spare in the trunk. I mean, you know how it is. Just needs a fuel pump, yeah. Actually, on that, we might be about to see a reefa. As far as things that always go bad. I don't know if I need to remove these. Let's find out. I think we could just take the top off, but I don't remember. Which model is this? Dude, they don't say the models on these. That's the thing. I think technically this is an MHAV or MVA something. Hold on. This is an HVA at Crosspoint 300 12.8 or 128. So again, HVA Crosspoint 300 128. I think is what this is, technically. model that needs to go to my spare bedroom for all the retro consoles. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're going to spend as much on cables for this stupid thing as you will on it itself. So you're really not losing that much by, or gaining that much by just getting this for free. Hello, old one. Oh, I hope this is actually the necessary screw. Jeez, these are ridiculous. Let's see. It was. Okay, perfect. Actually, that was keys to the city. Just straight up VGA. It is and it isn't. All right. Ah, cool. Mine does not have a REFA. Some of these do have a REFA in here, but not this one. And there is the EEPROM. So, we can definitely see that it's the flashed version. That's what I want to yoink out of there. And then also peel the sticker off to get the part number so I can order a replacement. I'm really happy that it's socketed. And I'm really happy that I have the exact version that I have, because the ones that don't have the bajillion, like, different input boards back here apparently don't have the EEPROM as like a just standalone device like that. It's part of the PCB flush mount and all that fun stuff. So yeah, okay. Look at all the space. I mean, yeah, could install fans if I wanted to, but I don't. Dip 8 below is the EEPROM. What? What's this? You mean the one that's soldered? I don't like the look of that. I don't want to. I don't want to though. I don't want to have to desolder. Firmware 1x06 is in place if you want it. Hold on, you telling me that this is firmware only and it's not going to contain the settings? That's the microcontroller? Why does it have a firmware version printed on it? Microcontroller EEPROM. Man. Well, that complicates things. Well, darn. That really sucks. Because that just went from, I just get some tweezers in there and pop that thing out, to we have to remove this board, which holds all of the buttons in, which is a slightly different kind of problem. I'm not looking forward to this now. Okay. All right, so I guess we're extracting this. All right. Well, maybe it's not too bad. You want to replace it anyway? I'm going to dip clip on it, dump it in circuit. What could possibly go wrong? Well, I don't have a replacement right now. I also don't have a dip clip like that here right now. All I've got is everything that is in this box. So we got Mini Pro, and then we got that thing, and then we got this thing, then we got that thing, then we got that thing, and none of them things do the thing that thing needs. So we have to pull it, dump it. I mean, I guess we could just read the part number off of it and order one and then dump it and read it later. No idea I'm reset if the EEPROM is missing. Actually, having it be missing is an interesting test. Can you take off the metal front so you don't have to deal with the buttons? So I think I would actually be, there are screws here. I think I could use them as a standoff to hold the buttons in place. So I think I could just leave it in this orientation. It would be fine. Is an EEPROM in a socket? No, this is not the EEPROM, apparently. The EEPROM seems to be that chip right there. Behind the socketed chip. Hold on, this arm is going wobbly. There we go. So that one is apparently the EEPROM. Good luck extracting it. Well, that's why I'm saying I would have to remove the board.
Chlorocoon says Tier 100 wobbly arms. I have the issue too. Mine are harder to tighten up.
End of line.
We thank you for the 100 bits. I was not anticipating this issue. Oh, that's you can see back there the line filter cap that's not a Rifa. I didn't notice that the first time. Stop stalling. Well, here's the thing, Dziak. We might be done. It's not stalling. It's genuine contemplation. Because here's the thing. I have to desolder that. Desoldering is kind of stressful. I could desolder it. I have an iron here. That's not a problem. Is it through hole? Yes. But does it make sense to just order a part and then wait and then do it all later? As opposed to pulling the EEPROM now and dumping it.
Out of fuel at Tier 101.
End of line.
Swarm, thank you for the 101 bits. Desolder it, let's go. To me, that's not really how this works. Probably makes sense. Yeah, that's the thing. I think it actually makes sense to just leave it, order the part now that I can see it, and then continue later. Which sucks. Maybe it still works out the EEPROM? Yeah, but I don't have to find out. I can just order one and then go. Order a new one, play games. I think you missed the part where this thing is integral to the game setup. We cannot play games with it out of commission. Can read in circuit. Someone else could, I cannot currently. Not with what I have at home. I am at home right now. I don't have all of the hardware. Snippets data pin, see if it wakes up in factory reset mode. Yeah. This was not the direction I expected this to go. Plan B, good stream, everyone. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. I put all the precautions in the note, like that it may not be possible. We checked the device for bad caps. Were there many bad caps? There were many bad caps in 2003. Well, we can see pretty much all of the caps on that board. All of the other ones are like tantalums or whatever. So everything's right there. It's just a power supply. I doubt it's the power supply, since after factory reset it works fine. So I don't think it's that. Wonder why I didn't let you cheer 404. Maybe because of the comma? I don't know. Extron died? No, it's just always been a persnickety booger.
David Phantom says Tier 404, Tier not found.
End of line.
Thank you for the 404 bits, David. That's my wife's. I mean, I don't use it all the time every day. I assume it still works fine. So they don't make FRAM and DIP anymore, so it's all SMD now. So you're saying I can't buy that part? Huh. Let's look up the part again, or look at the part again, and then I'm going to look it up. See if I can order one. You know what sucks? Having my face be so bright in the camera because the light's right there. You know what sucks more? Having my eyes be in the light. Okay. That is a 24 LC01B. Okay. Fun thing. Right above where I'm looking, I have a 32-inch television. Might be I'm pretty sure it's 32-inch. That's a reference monitor for this. Back when I used to film at this desk, I would use the same setup for the camera, the Nikon. I can totally get that part still. Right there. Yeah, that's not a problem. Look, it's not even not recommended for new design like half the capacitors I buy now. So that's totally fine. And they can program it. That would be kind of funny. Thought the cap was blown out, turns into just grounding. I don't know. You can get that part. They still make it. You can get free samples of it. So a really bad idea involving custom cheer remotes. Oh gosh. So yeah, I guess it's gonna cost me a whopping 37 cents for this. Yeah, 40 cents is way too much. I know, right? Oh darn. What's gonna really blow is the $6 shipping. I'll probably just chuck some random capacitors in there that are like generic ones. Is Micro Center stocking? Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb against not. Micro Center could have almost had that Adafruit serial adapter though, but they don't have that exact one. But they do have a bunch of Adafruit like weird random dev board stuff. Yeah, 37 cents plus $29.99 shipping, exactly. All right, well, I really think it's an unnecessary strain on the PCB to desolder this, then dump it, and then resolder it, and then desolder it again later, only to solder a new one in place. So I would rather wait. Is there not enough space for a socket? There really isn't, is there? I could probably put some sill sockets in there and then put a replacement in like that. Yeah, I actually no, there's plenty of space. If you can fit the chip, you can fit the socket. I don't know. I could probably come up with a socket solution. So I'll work on that too. And we're going down to Radio Shack to get things like this. Yeah, I don't think Fry's ever had this. I don't know. In an emu? You guys voted against it. You lost. You're not getting it now. That was the whole point. Yeah, so this was always the risk. Okay, bye. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna put it back together. That's gonna be part of this. But yeah, I don't think it makes sense to try and do anything with this currently, which is annoying because I actually remember to bring the programmer here to dump the part and all that fun stuff. So anyway, you voted for Kodos? I don't know what that is. Considering getting a Steam frame? Absolutely not. When you walk over to Microchip and center it. The laughing means I know what you're talking about. Didn't know there was a vote since it came late. It was in Discord before stream. How's the Grease Weasel doing? I'm pretty sure this is the home one is right here. Oh, it's way in the back. Yeah, it's fine. So it is like VR from this millennium, yeah. How much? Tell me Fred shared to expect you. Okay. All right. Well, let's start the reassembly, I guess. Am I logged in? Hold on. Let me log into DigiKey. I am not logged in. Okay, hold on. Let me go back and email myself this part so I can buy probably like 10 of them. Actually, I'll just put this in my parts order checklist. Naming it Steam Engine. All right, parts order and subtask. Extron. I'll give you guys a slight sneak peek of what's coming up. I ordered caps for the Decorator 3, Game Gear, Visual 200, and Tektronix 7904A. So there's capacitors for a bunch of stuff coming today. It's kind of annoying. Couldn't have got here earlier. Just checking tracking on that, see if it was delivered already. Nope, not yet. All right, so note made to order Extron chip. I wonder what the Game Gear is for. A Game Gear. I'm sure you live commentary in his oldest videos. Yeah. Luckily, you made it to partner before you can create custom cheer emotes. You can mark ourselves safe from stupid VT100. I'm not sure what you mean. Do I have sockets? Like DIP 8 sockets? No, but like someone else commented, I'm not sure there's enough room. There might be, but all right. I'm not as concerned about that. I can figure that out, or just chuck them in the order. See. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna start reassembling this. I don't think it makes sense to do anything more today. All right, let me move this light over here. Okay. That'll work-ish. All right. Who needs settings anyway? Pressing the buttons is fun. Well, that's the thing. I can't press the buttons. I don't know if you were here at the start of the stream. So when I power this thing on initially, the front panel is locked. It will blink the lights over here and it won't let me do anything. What I have to do is I have to power it on holding these buttons, which puts it into factory reset mode. And then once this light turns on, boom, now it's perfectly fine. Everything works. It's the weirdest problem. But I'm not the only person who has one of these that behaves like this, which is the weirder part. So I don't know. That's annoying? Yes. Or all those jacks on the back, those are BNC jacks for carrying the different video signals, mostly RGB analog and horizontal and vertical sync. All right, let's put the lid back on. Does manual say what flashing both lights means? Yes, that it's locked for executive mode, but I can't unset executive mode. I can look at that too, but the factory reset should fix that as well, and it doesn't. It does have serial, yes, right there. Serial works perfectly fine. I can reset the factory reset mode over serial as well. But it's just, I can't turn it on and just use it. And that's super annoying. One moment here. There we go. Show the executive, yeah. I didn't actually mention that the manual covers what the lights do. We can try enabling and disabling executive mode so you can see that. I'm pretty sure it will never let me disable executive mode, though. Now just a billion tiny screws. Yeah, so I have the manual up on my other monitor right now, so we'll review that. Winding wire, time delay, switch upon the buttons need to hold power on so it always resets itself. I love and hate that idea. It would totally work, but I hate it. Initialize switcher to recognize new IC. Well, that's curious. Does that essentially reformat the chip? Because if that's the case, I'm willing to try that. And someone post the Extron control software on Discord. I don't need the software though. I mean, if the chip is corrupt, like the data is bad, and then it never properly writes to it, I can see that. Flash will actually respond to being zeroed out. Yes. You forget to use pseudo. Yeah. There's the like ultra blue thing again. Don't have anything that small. Small, so I have to not. Well, it would cost more in tariffs for you to send it to me than it would for me to just buy it anyway. So it's you know what? Supposed to be rattly stuff inside of a power center, right? That's where the magic parts are. What is that? Okay, tangent. Shake it when it's plugged in. Yeah. Tangent. What's making that sound? How dangerous is it to plug this in? So Philip, I have this whole setup where I have two other power centers that the Extrons and a USB hub are powered. It is probably a plastic standoff, but I just would like to get it out of there so it doesn't sound as sketchy. So the USB hub that powers this thing normally gets power cut at the same time this does. So everything gets turned off. Okay, well, based on that one not coming out, that's probably a broken standoff. There is a completely missing standoff right there, which means that the screw is inside, so that's not good. This one doesn't want to come loose. Come on. Wait, why is there one bonus screw right here? Jeez. Oh, I'm so not going to Micro Center if Chase 2 Cents is going to be there. Nothing against Chase 2 Cents, but that just means it's going to be a madhouse. Absolutely not. All right, well, there's two broken standoffs. All right, we got the headphone jack. We got some weird doohickey. We got power plug that's like pushed through slightly. One of these is rotated, if I remember right. Yeah, this one for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe that's like the always switched one or something. Everything else looks fine. Okay, so it's just the two broken standoffs. That's fine. I can put it back together now. Now that it's not ultra super sketchy. Probably do it this way. 3 broken standoffs. They made the best plastic in the 90s. It was actually really nice. I managed to go to the Micro Center already, and no one recognized me. Weight savings, yeah. Oh, I'm sure I could repair it, but on the other hand, I don't care. These ones in particular, I know, have super garbage plastic. I have another one over here where one of the corners is completely bashed out. Can I help you, sir? Dude, so many times. It was awesome. None of the employees knew who I was either. Also, I found a part from 2002 there. No one recognized you at Micro Center, but they do Goodwill? Correct. You have a trademark TT shirt on? No, they'll stay at the office. Must be nice being a small YouTuber? Yes. Let's add a razor blade, some nut washers, yeah. That's why that's the only identifiable characteristic that I have, is my shirts. Really. I think I just lost another standoff. Oh no, the screw just fell completely all the way through. Okay. And that one, I guess. Wait a minute, that's not good. That means every single screw on this side is missing. Oh well, that's the brakes. Get some handy dandy Scotch tape. Good as new. Tape is structural. This tape is structural. The good news is we're using the tensile strength of the tape. What is this tangent? There was something rattling around inside of this when I picked it up. Now it's better than ever. Just press the tape in. There we go. Perfect. Okay. I was going to demonstrate serial problems, and I wanted this so that I could turn it off and on with a push of a button rather than like the power cable in the back. So let's go back to what we were actually doing now. So I have this set up here where I've got a extension cable right there. That way I can easily plug this in without having to fight the other stuff. This is our computer. We'll plug it in there. I'm sure there's lights on or something. Okay. Plug this in here, and then I'll plug in the serial port. All right. Now I push that, and that turns on. Perfect. Okay. Now I'm going to go over that bright light serial cable options. Or serial command options. So many missing screws. Wait, why do I have 3 standoffs and 2 screws? Oh, it's because one of the screws is in the standoff still. Okay. All right. Could someone bring back that manual that said something about reformatting the EEPROM? Because I couldn't click it in time, unfortunately. Oh, I gotta be lazy and like super kick back here. Oh, yeah. Might have learned its lesson. Push button. Blink. Blink. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Firmware upgrade procedure. All right, remove it from the rack. Okay, for a second, I was scared that I was going to have to open it, but I think maybe not. Reinstall, okay. Press and hold the enter button while you connect the power cord. Observe that the lights all flash. Press and release enter button, disconnect. Press and hold the escape button. Observe that the lights flash. Ensure that the switcher is working properly. Okay. So I'm guessing it's a 2-step process. Yeah. So we hold enter, do all the stuff, and then hold escape, do all the stuff. Okay, we can do that. So power off, which is why I wanted this. Hold enter. Lights should flash. Specifically, the lights on the right. I think that was it. Observe the input, output, preset, view, and escape LED lights all flash, release enter button, disconnect power cord. And then press and hold escape button. Okay, escape blinked once. Ensure that the switcher is working properly. 1. That is proper. Enter. Okay. And now this. Power off. Power on. Give it a second. And... Nope. What is this contraption? This is an Extron Crosspoint 300 128. And that's when it catches fire, yeah. So, okay, so it's clearly not gonna just be that either. What does it do? It's got 120 BNC jacks on the back for switching between 12 RGB-HV inputs and 8 RGB-HV outputs. I'm getting a ping on Discord probably about something relative. Okay. Or relative related. Oh, well, now enough of you voted actually in Discord that it was getting closer to the games being valid. How many of you just changed your votes now that this was clearly bad? Failed to write to the dead EEPROM as expected? Probably, yeah. Yeah, my suspicion is that the EEPROM is bad. Extron, I take a drink. I could abuse that, but I don't want your liver to go south. Okay. I'm going to power cycle it again. All right, let's mess with some stuff. So I want to put this here, and then I'm going to do this. All right. Grab the serial doodad. I'm going to kill this because Minicom probably lost connection to the serial port. Okay. Is that one of those RAM chips with built-in memory? I mean, it's... I don't know. I'm not quite exactly sure. Does not have battery-backed memory. Does not. Okay. So, let's go back to the serial ports and the serial programming. Because this is the annoying thing. We can totally program it completely normally through here. The first thing we have to do, so for the record, okay, we're in the bad state. Push that, lights blink. Okay? Bad state. I'm going to do an input unmute. All right? Because if I remember correctly, this will work. Set audio input gain. Where is it? Global audio unmute. Yeah, but I want audio unmute. So there, it's the. I guess this. So we'll do 0 star Z. 0 star Z. Okay. We still can't press buttons. Not see Discord poll until after it was decided for the record. All right. 120 dB of ground loop hum intensifies. Yeah. All right. Then we'll try a tie. So it's 1 star. It's input, output, exclamation point. So 1 star, 1 exclamation point, in, out. So one thing I can do is hit view and then hit a tie, and we can see all of the ties for that. We just can't modify them. So the front panel's not dead, weirdly. Oh yeah, I was going to show you executive mode. Exec mode here. Okay. So this is the executive mode control. All right. So the executive mode is so weird to set on this thing. So you can set mode 2 and mode 0 with this button combination, or mode 2 and mode 1 with this combination, which is strange. We want mode 0. So mode 0, front panel is completely unlocked. Mode 1, all changes are locked. In mode 2, all functions are locked. So we're clearly in mode 1 because I can view. All right. If I go here, viewing possible. All right. So we're in mode 1. We want to be in mode 0. So just for giggles, 0x exec 1, 0x exec 1. It's like stuck in executive mode 1 for some reason. So we're in 1. We can toggle between 1 and 2. So I guess we could try holding RGB, HV, and audio until they blink twice. So 1, 2. Okay, so in theory, we should be in mode 2 now. So if I do X, we're still in mode 1. So ignore the exact 0. I don't understand that. For the record, view 1. We can still view. All right. We can see audio is muted because the thing is dumb. Then if I do 1. Wait, is that going to let me change the thing? Well, now that's curious. Hold on. Escape. Audio 1. Yeah, now I think it's the mutes that are bad. You know, for giggles, let's shut it off right here and see what it does. Reboot it. Okay, and now blinks. Okay, so the exec mode doesn't change or save no matter what. Might be doing checksum on the EEPROM. I don't know, yeah. It is, yeah. No, it can pass almost anything. As long as you only have 3 true analog channels and then sync pulses, it'll be fine. The sync pulses can be whatever polarity. So I'm running S video and composite through the RGB ports on this. As well as RGB, actually. You can mix. So I have VGA, S video, and composite all connected to this. And one day I'll probably have RF connected as well. Pseudo exec 0, yeah. So this doesn't work. Okay, for giggles, let's try toggling with this. So enter plus these, and then it should blink twice. There's no enter LED. Why does it show that blinking? Why does it? It says the enter LED, but there is not an enter LED. That is the only button on here that does not have an LED. Reproducible error involved into an unpredictable error. It's still mostly reproducible. Okay, there we go. So, in theory, yeah, so we still have the audio mute issue, which there's a way of toggling that. I don't remember what it is. Viewing, global presets, adjusting output. It's actually the audio input levels are all muted to 0% if I remember correctly. Level audio input can be adjusted to a range of 100% to 0% from the front panel or RS-232. Default is 100%. Press the escape button. Any input LEDs, output LEDs, control LEDs to adjust. To enter audio mode, press and hold the audio button until the LED begins to blink. Then release, press and release an output. Select an output, inputs. The input LEDs display the volume level for the selected output. Switchers indicate volume differently depending on the number of input LEDs. General rule, the more LEDs are lit, the higher the volume. I assume the inverse is true for input. Is it solid state relay or uses it has analog devices ICs inside for doing matrixing. Okay, so escape. Press and hold the escape button. Okay. Hold the audio button until the LED begins to blink, then release. Blink, blink, blink. Output 1. Press and release an output button. The inputs display the volume level. Well, there's none. Wait, what? What is that? Why does pressing it twice cycle? You guys seeing this stuff? It's behaving weird. Look at this. If I press this, watch these, they cycle between 1 and 2. Oh, it's super wonky. What on earth? Okay, thing's cursed. Like it's stuck in a combination of exec modes? Yeah, not even YouTube. My bad. I see it contains firmware for the matrix switcher, also contains a memory in which presets and audio levels are saved. So I was right? Are you kidding me? So I have to open it up again. Because we didn't mark down what that chip was. Only serial number stuff. Well, okay. That's... Alright, let's rush this. Speed run. Extron teardown. Alright. We have to 100% this, though. Any percent is not acceptable. We already did an 80% run, and it was unfruitful. Nothing else you know how to use more features now? Not really. Ugh. Okay. This one looks more like a rando, you know? It does feel that way. System's so nice we tore it down twice. What do you need? It's the main firmware chip. I was right based on what Helen Croft is saying, in that the main chip does store the firmware. So I need to pull that back out. By the way, Extron inspectors 9 and 10, you were wrong. TT branded warranty stickers. I got the TT branded Caps Wiki stickers. That maybe someday I'll actually fix the PayPal button so you can buy them. Check if you have the right manual. There are like 3 different manuals that are similar, but this is the closest one I've been able to find. All right. Do you guys know those like really nice IC pullers that you can get? I don't. Oh, it's warm in there. Cool. You zoom into analog devices. Well, I guess. Does it matter? There you go. I guarantee it's just a single channel analog mixer because that goes for just the R's. Each channel has its own board in here. And then the sync pulses are handled slightly differently because I believe this thing re-synthesizes the sync pulses after capturing them. That's just a multiplexer? I mean, like, what do you think this thing is? Is that not what the entire Extron is? Is a multiplexer? All right, real quick, like, I'm gonna pull this in. I'm gonna take a photo just for reference of orientation. I can't screw this up. Okay. Yoink. Got pulled away. Yeah, because it turns out that I was probably right and that the firmware settings are stored on this sticker. I mean, the sticker. Yeah, the sticker holds the firmware settings. That's it. Okay. Let's be slightly smart.
Chloe Raccoon says, Cheer 100, I can't screw this up, come across as famous last words.
End of line.
Yeah. Thank you for the 100 bits. All right. I am ESD strap protecting thing by clipping somewhere. I don't know. There's got to be a ground somewhere around here. You know what? That'll work. One of the audio jacks on my mixer down here. That's ground enough. Is it a wireless one? No. All right. EEPROM. Let's figure out what the thing is. This is like the nicest sticker I've ever felt on one of these. Oh, who bent my tweezers so out of shape? I'm like, I need to put that back on. Alrighty. One chip-a-majigger. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, we could really well read that. Oh my gosh, it's a Motorola 68K. All right, enjoy looking at the grains of wood dust that are glued together. Okay. Extron equal Mac confirmed. MC68HC711 E9CFN2. Okay. Part obsolete. Well, that's just rude. Uh, yeah, right, Helicroft? Okay, this just got a lot more complicated. So yeah, that's not an EEPROM. That's a whole microcontroller. We can't just dump that and then rewrite it. Oh man. This is what I was afraid was wrong with the Roland SK88, but it turned out that it was a remote storage microcontroller, so it didn't have onboard memory, and you were able to replace the CPU because it was just a CPU, not an MCU. Yeah. We knew it was a microcontroller? What do you mean it knew it was a microcontroller? Actually, this is super confusing, man. Yeah, it is an SoC. Isn't that just something or another? I mean, you got old hardware, no parts problem. I got the new parts, no data sheets, or documentation problem. Yeah. I just sent an email to Extron support. So I know for a fact that they will charge $130 for the power supply, which is just one of those, what is it, like, it's whatever that company is that makes them for the TRS-80 Model 4 or whatever. Antec or something, I don't know. And that's just an off-the-shelf part. There's no way they're going to send me one of these for like less than $100. I might be able to find this part on eBay or something. Let's see. eBay. I don't remember the model name. Don't take that to heart too much. They're only $500 on eBay, so that's for 50 of them. I made it sound expensive. There's one that's oh my gosh, these are super expensive. Why? Why are they so much money? Okay, I found 4 of them for like $25. Dude, what? Why? Why are these so much money? So there we go. I can get them, but can I program them? That's the more difficult question. More importantly, can I read this one? So just bring this thing back out.
Magento Tech says Tier 100 there is no flash in that chip. Only 12K of EEPROM.
End of line.
So we're back. The settings being stored on this. Well, it no fit anyway. Look for another chip? Oh, what? Why wouldn't it be this one? We broken it yet? Maybe, I don't know. One moment. Yes, this orientation. Well, I can't read that right now anyway. Okay, so Hellencroft's saying that it has EEPROM. So we have that, but that looks like power supply nonsense. Up here, there's nothing. So there's still the one back there that it could be, maybe, in theory. Hold on. Arms being a pain in the butt. And there's those down there, which I'm just going to guess are buffers of some kind. Then there's that thing. Whatever that is. And then there's that thing. Whatever that is. Max. So that's probably an interface buffer. And then there's that one, which is... Oh, Max 232. So that's a serial port driver. Okay. And then there's nothing else along the front that doesn't look powery. I wonder what those jumpers do. Let's look that up. Just make sure that it doesn't have like jumpered always in exec mode 1 or something. Wouldn't that be funny? And by funny, I mean I would cry. Rated for 10,000 write cycles. That'd be really bad for this. JMP doesn't appear anywhere in here. Anywhere in here. Unlikely to be documented. Yeah, external EEPROM's only 128 bytes. I mean, that's enough for settings. For like, the ties and stuff. Maybe not for audio information too, though. Yeah, so it's got to be on the microcontroller. It just has to be. Oh, gosh. I don't know. It might just be hosed. It might just be always reset it. Ben, this is probably it. It's probably that, but it's a whole Motorola 68K, which means that I would have to read the firmware off of it and then write it to a new one. And I don't know if we can read that. I don't have a socket for it to be able to read it. I don't know how easy that's going to be. I feel like that's not something I'll be able to trivially do with the TL866. I would love to know what these jumpers do, though, but I'm not finding any documentation on that. I'd only found one other image of someone who'd even opened one of these before. The firmware chip was visible, though. Let's see if I can find that again. Just might be able to see the jumpers on it. Oh gosh, this picture's so dark. And it's on Reddit, so they're not going to let me actually see the photo. Okay, so this is the photo from the other person. So they have a slightly newer firmware rev than I do. So there's this bottom jumper. Mine is bottom jumper. And then 1, 2, 3, fourth jumper. That's the same as mine. All right, well, that kind of sucks. I don't think there's anything else we can do. Like at all, actually, let alone today. Because I don't see dumping that and writing a new one being that practical of a solution. Well, Philip, if this is only 128 bytes back here, that's not enough for the audio settings, I think. It's externally EEPROM went bad. Yeah, I'll order it because, again, it's like nothing, but I'm not going to high priority that. I'm not going to do a dedicated order for that now because it doesn't seem super likely. All right, let's reassemble it. The good news is I can reset it over serial and then use it normally after that. Or plug it into power and then reset it. And yeah. Speaking of power, let me plug it in right now. Make sure I didn't just kill the EEPROM or something. Can't bodge some horrendous chip reader out of wires. I don't know exactly how that's going to work. Because it's not exactly going to expose the EEPROM directly. You're probably going to have to read it through the chip somehow, I would assume. I don't know. Alright, did it die? No, that looks totally normal. And by normal, I mean broken, but normal broken. Out of curiosity, if I just hold escape, since we did that, and it worked after that kind of, sort of. But just escape. Blink, blink. Blink. Oh, curious. I didn't blink those. Yeah, and then it works. I can switch stuff. So weird. Why? So confusing. Just as broken as it was before? Yep. Alright, give it one more shot here, and yeah, so as long as I hold escape on power up, then it's good, I guess. That's super weird. Alright. Oh, that's fancy, Majenko. Okay. You serial change the exec mode now? No. That doesn't, I can't remember. If I'm gonna do anything, I'm just gonna do factory reset. Which I don't believe clears presets, so I can write presets to it, factory reset it, and then just load a preset for one of the settings I want. And you can have, I don't remember, it's like 32 presets or something ridiculous like that. I don't need that many, so that'll be fine. All right, let's put the lid on. Unplugged. Unplugged. Okay. Let me put it this way. This isn't bad enough that if I knew for a fact it was permanently going to be forever like this, that I would replace it. This is an acceptable operating condition to me. because I am remote controlling everything in the setup. Even the RetroTink, I actually wrote my own web interface for the RetroTink. So I can control it over serial as well. So I'll eventually have something for this, and it's probably just going to be the most bare bones, like buttons, like switch to this console, and then that'll configure all of my stuff to do what I want with a single button press. So yeah, this is not a problem. It's just minorly annoying that I can't walk up to it and push the buttons on it. Release the source for the RetroTink? Yes, it's on my GitHub page. It is MIT licensed. Have a ball. Not that it's that special. And I tried to design it in such a way that it could be easily modified, but then I realized the way that I was going to have to do it didn't really work well because image maps apparently don't scale with CSS sizes. So I had to do absolute position divs, or relative position divs. I don't remember, whichever one where they can be resized inside of another div and change and hold their position correctly. So anyway, it's in the HTML that all the stuff is there, and it was not super clean. But if you really wanted to, you could modify it to work with the 4K CE instead of the Pro or something like that. So. And the button commands are stored in the JavaScript in the HTML file, not in the Python side. So it's just HTML that you would need to know to be able to modify it. Although there is a slight weirdness with the power button that has special logic in the Python side, but that's it. Got how expensive? Yeah. CE is a lot more affordable, but I wanted enhanced S video a lot. Like, now that I've used the RetroTink 4K, I would not trade the $400 difference or whatever to get it without enhanced S video. In my opinion, the front input ports may as well not exist. If you're going to use those, you should just buy like a 5K or something. Well, I wouldn't say that, Ubidistas. I probably should have looked into other stuff more. I just went with what I knew was going to work. But yeah, the open source scan converter or things like that were on my radar. I just decided to go big boy one. I don't know. And I'm sure the open source scan converters are fine. It's just, yeah, RetroTink 4K was the safe choice. All right, my controller has ROM-based bootloader that can talk over serial. Maybe you can kick in bootloader mode, dump it over the serial port. That would be hilarious. I don't know. That did not go the way that I thought it would. I'm very frustrated by that, but whatever. It's fine. Switch have stoplight, or is it treated like four-way stop inside? I have no idea what you mean. About this, I already have headaches. Don't want another one when I do my job. Yeah. They work generally acceptably. So here's the thing. I am super obsessive about video stuff, and I am doing my own custom sampling definitions for the RetroTink 4K, which either would be just as viable on the open source scan converters or not possible at all. And I don't know because I haven't looked into the open source scan converters. So it either wouldn't have mattered to me in the slightest, or RetroTink 4K is the only thing I could use. I don't know. Chad is in shock, yeah. Well, 49 extra headaches priceless. Yeah, well, I'm not going to get another one for that price, that's for sure. You could put the digit one place over on there. I'm still not going to find it for that price, probably. Well, Dathmir, the thing is that it is a matrix cross-point switch. So the routing can go like any which way. mean, you can't route one input into another input, but you can do some crazy stuff. It's not always to see, okay, it's just a scaler, and the other places are the scan lines, etc. Well, there's a difference. Let me phrase it this way. All of the devices that can take an analog source input into a digital source output are a sampler. The sample rate is part of how the data acquisition works so that it can digitize it and send it to the video output. I want to be able to set that sample rate. In theory, any one of the devices could do that, but not all of them expose that level of control to the average user. That is the kind of thing that I want. GBS 8200 is analog out. Okay, now I gotta look it up. What's the point then? Is it just a line doubler? It's like, why? Wait, is it just TTL to VGA? Is that it? I don't know what the, like, RGB, HV. Is this like one of the things that you just have inside of a flat panel for like handling video input sources? I think it is. Weird. All right. I don't know. Well, that's going to be it for today, I think. Yeah. LCD TV upscaler chip on a cyberboard. Okay, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, that makes more sense then. It's not meant for this use. They're meant to take JAMA Arcade, make it RGB HV to install. That makes sense. Yeah. I'm just spoiled because, Hydro Thunders are already VGA because they're just literally PC video cards. Well, they're literally PCs. Anyway, all right. Yeah. Yeah, that just being a monitor chip makes way more sense. All right, it's outro time. Well, that didn't go how I thought it would today. I learned I'm just stuck. Nothing's gonna change with this thing, no matter what. So that kind of sucks. Yeah. Do you think about the Voodoo 2 cards dying? I haven't watched it. It looked like it was just something that has to do with all MLCCs, which we're not having like wildly tons of dead 90s electronics, so I have a feeling it can't be that common and that someone just did something bad that's whatever. I don't know. I would have to look at it a little more seriously, but I'd never heard of the phenomenon that they were talking about, so I will have to do independent research on that so that I can understand it more. So, which I can understand people thinking similarly about capacitor reforming. So, I won't necessarily discard their opinion, but it's something where I need to do some validation on my own. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm just frustrated. literally can't do anything with this current. Well, I mean, no, it works perfectly fine. This is like, I'll never use the buttons because I'm never going to remember to hold the escape. And then I'll just rely on serial. Anyway, all right, that's it for today. Tomorrow, I will hopefully have the parts for the deck rider. Let me see if they've been delivered. We're at 6 minutes away from the end of the delivery window. Were they delivered during stream? They were not, of course. So, yeah. It is junk. It's not really junk. It's just, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so tomorrow, Deck Rider 3 gets new caps. They were weirder than I thought. We'll talk about that when we pull them out, because they don't look the way they think they look. But yeah, that's it for now. So I will catch you guys then. If you enjoyed this stream, you may want to follow to get notified when I go live again next. If you want to help support the channel, you can find me on Patreon. But that's it for now, and I will see you next time. I'm going to end it, like, actually early, so make sure that the printer or music doesn't run out. Probably still going to run out, but whatever.